Flosstube, Stephanie here, Ms. Oh So Crafty. Welcome to my Flosstube video number 32. How is everyone doing? Today is Easter Sunday. It is Sunday the 16th of April, I think. Yeah. And I hope that you had a wonderful Easter if you celebrate. I do, and this morning was really nice. We went up to church, and it was a wonderful, beautiful, uplifting mass or service or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, they had a petting zoo today, and when Oliver saw the bunny, he was like, hop, hop, and started jumping up and down. It was like the cutest thing. And then, we got home. I've been doing some prep for dinner, and we're going to have a nice dinner tonight. On the menu is Cornish game hen with a blood orange sage garlic glaze and fingerling potatoes with lemon and asparagus and what else? Oh yeah, the banana pudding pie and homemade rolls. So the hens are in the fridge marinating. The rolls are in the fridge ready to be baked. They got their second rise overnight in the fridge. That's my favorite trick for homemade bread. I prep it the night before, let it do its first rise, and then second rise in the fridge overnight, and then you just take it out of the fridge like half an hour before you bake it, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it so much the day of, Yeah, so we're kind of an afternoon nap time right now, and I've got a few minutes, so I thought I'd film Flosstube. So I guess we'll start with whips. I've got whips, I've got couple FFOs and a little bit of stash, some plans. We're in the midst of Jessie Marie's stitch along, started yesterday, so all right, let's get going. So excuse me a sec. So last time I saw you, I was working on Titania, and I will insert a pic of what it's supposed to look like and a pic of what it looked like before. Here's what it looks like now. I worked on this 3 days at the end of March, and I stitched this bustle. I filled in this bit over here and then stitched this bustle and then started adding some of these new coral colors and started doing the leaves down here. So that was a lot of fun. This project is coming along. It's not quite half done yet, but I am close to the bottom, so a couple more days probably would get me to the halfway mark. This is stitched on 32 count opalescent Lugana in the sparkling sundown colorway from Silk Weaver Old. You see that sparkle? Pretty pretty. At least I can see it. This is a lot of fun to stitch. A lot of blocks of color, nothing too taxing. So that was fun. After that, April arrived and I decided to work on Fire Goddess by Joan Elliott. I will insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like and a picture of what it looked like before. I worked on this 7 days from April 1 to 7, and here's my progress. This is most of the bottom half. This is stitched on 32 count Belfast in the Golden Promise colorway, I think, by Silk Weaver. It looks lighter here than it really is. It's a warmer, yellowy sort of color, yellow-brown. And the bottom is mostly done, except there's one more color that needs to go in there and a little bit that needs to be filled in up there. This will be metallic up here. I started a little bit of the shawl thing she's wearing. She has a rather elaborate shawl draped all around her, and it's done in these colors, these mustard colors down there and there. So this is coming along, and I don't think I'll have any problem finishing it by July or so. A couple more rotations should do it. So, there's a lot of stitching in the top half, but it's not as many colors, I don't think, as the bottom. Or I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, it's a lot of fun to stitch, and I do love it. The pattern's by Joan Elliott. I can't remember if I said that. Yeah. She's my third of the elemental goddesses. I did air first, then earth, now fire, and then I'll hopefully start water later this year. After that, the second week of April, I decided to pick up The Castle by Teresa Wensler. Here's the it's supposed to look like. And I will insert a pic of what it looked like before. I worked on this 6 days. It was a 7-day rotation, but one of those, it coincided with my son's spring break, and one of those days was so full of family fun that I was just too tired to stitch. I did some knitting instead, which I will show you in a bit. So here's my current progress. This is stitched on 28 count Castle View casual linen by Silk Weaver Old. It's like a variegated like blue-gray type thing. I love it. So what I did this time was I worked on this wing up here and started this wing down here and did a little bit on the head of the dragon. So his neck is going to come up and around basically. This coincided with the Lost Stitchy Bug Challenge on the Soulful Stitchers group on Facebook, Melanie's group. Hi Melanie, if you're watching. And the at first she had like a stitch count that she wanted us to do like 300 per day. So I did knock out 300 the first couple days, and she changed it down to like just stitch, you know. But I tried to like keep up the pace basically. So it doesn't really look like 300 times 6, 1800. It doesn't look like 1800 stitches. It may not be, but in any case, there's an awful lot of fractionals in there, and almost all of those colors are blended, and they're done with blending filaments. Can you see the sparkle at all? A little bit, maybe? It's very sparkly in real life. So, and this in here is all like confetti. So I'm not entirely pleased because I wasn't able to fill in, like, there's a couple more colors that have to go in here. That was kind of a bummer. But, you know, my rotation ended. It was time to move on. I worked on this, I guess, I worked on it, was a few days ago on Friday. And I did stitch some of these, some of the lit windows in this tall tower. That's my room up there. Yeah, great light for stitching, you know. So I'm really excited about this piece. I'm so close. I'm going to try to work on it more in April, and I'm going to order the stuff I need to backstitch the dragon. I've already backstitched the rocks, and I started the castle. Doesn't that look awesome? When the rest of it's backstitched, it's just going to stand out in such high relief. It's going to be so cool. But as for the dragon, you're supposed to use like metallic cord and a bunch of different colors to backstitch it, and yeah, I don't own any of that, so I'm going to order it with my birthday discount from Dreama at Needlecraft Corner. Good for the whole month of April, so hopefully I will get it, you know. I think when I pick this up again, I'm going to do a little bit more back stitching. I'll definitely fill up these stitches because those are driving me crazy. And then I'll do some back stitching like on this lower tier maybe. And there's another color that needs to go in there, and of course there's more. The last thing I stitch will be the neck and the head. The neck doesn't look too bad. It's not confetti or anything. It's like long bands of color pretty much. All blended colors, of course, with metallic and blending filament. But, you know, I love this. The Castle by Teresa Wensler. Very cool pattern. I highly recommend it. Although I have to tell you that this edition, it's hand-drawn. It's difficult to read in places. There are a lot of errors in places. If you're going to stitch this, I highly recommend going to the, buying the online version, and I will insert the name of the URL where you can buy it legally. I can't remember off the top of my head. Because those are computer generated and they're much easier to read. I have a few Teresa Wenslers from that source. So that brings us up to yesterday, the 15th, which is when Jessie Marie's Stitch Along started. So the first theme of the first day was to work on your oldest whip, which for me is the Maiden and the Unicorn by Vermilion Stitchery. And here we are. So what I did this time was, I only had like an hour to work on it yesterday, but I backstitched a little bit in here. It's like up to there, basically, from the corner up to there. Very painstaking backstitch in the border, but it looks pretty darn cool, I think, you know? This is stitched on 36 count antique white linen. So, I mean, I'm pleased for, you know, like an hour. That was like 2 threads. No, not too bad. It would have been nice to have more time on it, but, you know, I just had other things to do yesterday. I guess we'll get into my FFOs now. So I did some framing. Sorry. There's like some junk on the frame. I'm a blaster. Okay, so here's the first one. This is Voyage at Sea by Dimensions. Glare, sorry. That's about as good as it's gonna get, I guess. Okay, so this is a Dimensions petite kit stitched on like 8 o'clock or something, and 16 or 18, I don't remember. I triple matted it. The inner mat is metallic gold. The middle one is white, and the outer is cobalt blue. I did that because these are just small pieces. They work out to be like 5 by 7, and I just wanted it to be a little bit, you know, bigger on the wall. So Oliver was supposed to be napping, but he's up and about. If he comes, Oliver, you want to come say hi? He's wearing a really cute t-shirt I want to show you. Come here, Ollie. Okay, so that was the one, and then this one I did to match. This is Beacon at Daybreak by Dimensions Gold. Same framing treatment. This frame is gold with some beading detail and like a subtle rope type thing. So I'm pleased with these. They turned out really nicely. Maybe I'll insert a couple pictures that I took that I managed to do without glare. But I'm very happy with those. I can't wait to hang them up in my hall bath. Sorry, drop frame. Oliver wants to say hi. Hello. Look at this cute t-shirt. Chicks dig me. Don't worry, he didn't wear that to church. You are supposed to be taking a nap, young sir. Okay, I think I need to take a break here and put him down again. I'll be back in a minute. I'm back. So that's it for my FFOs, and I'm pleased with that. I do have a bunch more framing materials stashed, though. I think my next framing goals are going to be 2 Mirabilias, Aphrodite, Mermaid, and Petal Fairy. I have really pretty frames for both, so, and I don't mat those, so that'll be fun and pretty quick too. Although I think I do have to cut the glass as well. And cutting the glass, it doesn't take a whole lot of time or anything. It's just very it's a little nerve-wracking, I guess, especially those big pieces. So let's get into my plans now. I did kind of rearrange my plans for Jessie's Stitch Along a couple times, but I finally settled on something. So The theme for today is initials, J, M, D, or S for Jesse, Marie, Danny, Seitz. You're supposed to do something with one of those letters. So I'm going to be working on my Mill Hill Christmas Village toy shop. Actually, it'll be a new start. So Mill Hill M, and then toy shop S for shop. So here's where I am currently. This is the tree farm. So the toy shop's going to be right next door. I think I need to do a little bit of gridding, not too much because it's just there's only going to be a few stitches in between. I might go back and do some more snowflakes too because I've gotten more of the Kreinik that I need to do that. It's Kreinik 032, number 4 braid. Well, I'm really looking forward to working on that later this evening after dinner and stuff. So that'll be fun. This is stitched on 28 count Stormy Gray Jobelin and using the materials from the kit, which is DMC floss and Mill Hill beads and buttons. The button's not on here yet. It's going to be up there. It's like a lamppost type thing. So that will be fun. The toy shop. I'll insert a pic. And then the next day, April 17, the theme is something that you were unable to do. I'm going to continue working on this. So let me tell you a little story. Yeah, last year, it seemed like everybody was stitching the Santa Village and the Gingerbread Village by Little House Needlework, and I would see it over and over on Flosstube, but that stuff, while it's very cute, it's not really my cup of tea. So one day I was watching, I think it was Arizona Needlework, Deborah. Hello, Deborah, if you're watching. And she showed her whip of the Santa Village, I guess it was, and then she showed a Mill Hill Christmas Village button and beads kit that she had bought, a stash, and a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, why don't I buy a bunch of those kits and stitch them all together on a big piece of fabric and make my own Christmas village? So that's what I'm doing. I was enabled by, all of you guys stitching those villages, and then also my stitchy friend Susan just finished the toy shop, and I think she just finished it, or she's working on it. In any case, it looks awesome, so she enabled me. And then the next day, April 18th, the theme is maroon, red, orange, purple, Jesse's favorite colors. I will continue working on this piece. There is red in it, so I guess tomorrow I will start at the bottom, which is like snowy ground and stuff, and I'll try to get it ready for the red. There's a bit of red and burgundy in there, so. And then April 19th, the theme is bulldog or stitch something with April 19th, the theme is bulldog or stitch something with an animal. I'm going to be restarting my Winnie the Pooh by NCG Textiles kit, which I am subbing out DMC for the kit floss and subbing out the fabric for 28 count Monaco. The chart is great though, so that'll be the 19th. And then the 20th is Miss Congeniality, stitch something pretty. I'll be working on Titania, this piece, because it's pink and it's pretty, And then the April 21st, the theme is Taurus, diamonds, stitch something challenging. I'm going to be working on the castle again because, come on, this is a Teresa Wensler. Yeah, it's challenging, believe me. And moving on to April 22nd, the theme is close to 30, stitched on something that is close to being finished. My plan is to work on yeah, something close to finished. I'm going to work on this piece, the Snowman and Friends stocking, which as you can see, it's pretty close to finished. This is by Dimensions Gold Collection, stitched on 18 count, 8 cloth, white. And then April 23rd, the theme is 29. So my plan is to work on the castle again that day and work on it at least 29 minutes, hopefully a lot longer. Enough time to make some decent progress. And April 24th, the theme is bookish. My plan is to work on Winnie the Pooh again because, well, Winnie the Pooh is based on a book, right? By A.A. Milne. April 25, the theme is birthday, stitch on your most recent whip or a new start. I'm going to be starting in a Christmas ornament as I do on the 25th of each month, and I will show you some stash now, or some new stash that I bought with a gift card. So thank you, Samira, for that gift card. It was a birthday gift. 22 count Hardanger fabric and this pearl cotton. 699, number 5 pearl cotton. I'm planning to stitch the ornament that's in the, well, it's not an ornament per se, but it's a small Hardanger piece that's in Stitching with a Smiles tutorial, and Louise, my Soulful Stitching Your Whips partner, she enabled me, so thanks, Louise. I'm going to try Hardanger. It's your fault. I'm looking forward to it, though. It should be a fun challenge. So, speaking of Louise, she sent me this absolutely gorgeous card. I want to show it to you. Isn't that cool? It's a swan. It's sparkly. It's embossed. This is a handmade card that she got by a male crafter at a craft fair. Yeah? Whoever that guy is, he certainly has a flair for card making. So the bottom layer is, just white cardstock, and then there's like a purple foil layer, and then this white layer, it has like a pearly finish, and it's embossed, and then the swan is like dimensional on top of that, and it's got glittery feathers. Oh, I love this so much. Prettiest card ever. Thank you, Louise. I love it. Okay, so back to my plans for Jessie's Stitch Along. April 26th, the theme is family. I'll be working on Winnie the Pooh again because it's for my son. And then that's it for Jessie Stitch Along. That's her birthday, I guess, April 26th. Happy early birthday, Jessie. Your Stitch Along, I think, will be a lot of fun. I did enjoy working on my maiden unicorn piece last night, and I'm really looking forward to working on my Christmas village tonight, whatever. So after the Stitch Along, the next day is April 27th. I'm going to continue working on Winnie the Pooh. So the idea is that I'm doing it 2 days during the Stitch Along, so hopefully able to accomplish what I had done before, which was like the first column down to the midpoint. And then a couple more days will hopefully allow me to progress further, because I've stitched that first column down to the midpoint twice now. And then April 28th to the 30th, I'll work on something different. I'm not really sure what. Maybe the castle, depending on like how far I get. It would be so awesome to finish that this month. I don't know if it's in the cards though. Maybe in May. That would be cool. Alright, now I'm going to show you some stash, my birthday haul. My husband spoiled me. First thing, well, it's not exactly cross stitch, but it's stitching. Felt Easter ornaments by Priscilla. How cute are those? Oh my gosh. Love them. So, I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 13 in here, and they're all different. So that'll be so much fun. And then he gave me this book, Cross Stitch Fairies. I really like that cover design. I don't want to do like a full flip through, but There's a Joan Elliott in here. Garden Fairies. And what else? Here's the Fairy Princess from the cover. That is by Leslie Tier, I think. There's a Fairy Alphabet. Here's another Joan Elliott, Fairy Godmother. I like this one a lot. This is Fairy Season, so they're all like seasonal charts. Those are the summer ones. And there's some really cute like holiday. There's autumn. Isn't that cute, the Christmas card there? That's from the winter, obviously, the Christmas card. These are nice, the fairy silhouettes. Those are by Lucy Heaton. Yeah, there's a lot of like cool stuff in this book. I'm not sure if there's anything that's like a must stitch right now, but you know, in the future, I'm sure there'll be things that I want to do. So here's a pattern. This is called Purple Passion. It's by The Silver Lining, and irises are my favorite flower. This pattern has been on my wish list a long time. I'm looking forward to stitching it. It calls for both DMC and anchor floss to get really like subtle shading. It's pretty big, 149 by 262. It was stitched 1/1 on 28 count, the model. So I might do maybe 1/1 on 25 count. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's gorgeous. And then this pattern, Countdown to Christmas by Stony Creek. Isn't that cool? The black is a little chalkboard button that you have to buy it separately from the pattern. Although I did visit an LNS that had the chalkboard button clipped to the pattern, so I guess some places sell it together. But I think that's so cool. I know that would be a really fun stitch. I think what I'd like to do is to stitch it on a chalkboard fabric. There's a fair amount of white in there, and it would really pop, you know, on that. And the chalkboard button would blend in, so that would be really cool. And then he gave me this kit, Santa's Flight stocking. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't have any like reason to stitch a stocking right now, but I just know that if I didn't buy this someday, you know, I would regret it someday. And then he gave me this fabric. This is 36 count Legacy Edinburgh by Picture This Plus. And what I plan to stitch from it is Baroque by Ink Circles. So I was going to use, I considered using this stuff, which is Blueberry by Water Lilies. Crazy thing I found is that DMC 4240, I think it is like the exact same color as this. Really hard to tell the difference. In any case, I did a little bit of test stitching with the DMC, and I don't really like it. The one on the over here where I'm pointing on the left, I guess my left or right, whatever. That's done 1/2, and then this one is done 2/2. I feel like the 1/2 is a little too sparse, and the 2/2 is a little too bulky. I think what I want to do is I want to try the silky 12 weight and see how that works. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to start this though. Maybe later this year. If not this year, then certainly next year. So that's it for my birthday haul. So that's it for stitching. Thank you. If that's what you came for, thanks for watching, and I will be back in a few weeks. I do drop frame, sorry. So this is a current knitting project, a whip, that I want to show you. This is the Shakespeare in Love pullover by Carol Sunday, and this is the front piece of it. It's knit in Valley Yarns Northampton wool, which is my favorite, go-to worsted weight. It's just like a basic, wool, soft enough, cost effective, and it comes in big balls too, 100 grams, so you don't have to splice it together as often. And this I started in January. Didn't work on it very much in January. Around mid-March, stitching Joanne. Hi, Joe. You put a sort of fire under me, and I decided to start working on it more every day. So I did a few rows per day, and eventually I got to the finish line. So I've actually finished this on this past Thursday, and then I did start the sleeve. I haven't gotten very far yet. This is just about 1.5 inches. It's just some 2x2 rib with seed stitched on the edges. I'm using a US 7 needle. Did I mention that? But I might, do a daily row thing on this too. Although it'll have to be a lot more rows because the sleeve obviously is much smaller than the the front was. It worked out to be about a half hour per day, which wasn't bad, Drop frame, sorry. So the last thing I can show you is the top that I'm wearing, which is hand knit. Let me move the camera. Okay, so it's called the Tieback Shell by Connie Chang Chinchio. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that. It was in the Knit One magazine, spring 2009. I used Elan Sonata, which is cotton, mercerized, DK weight, and Victorian grape, 775 yards. Did the 33.5-inch size at a gauge of 5.5 stitches per inch in stockinette on US 6s, and I used 5 for the laces, or I used size 5 needles for the lace. It took 3.5 weeks back in 2009. This yarn, one of the reasons why I like it is because it wears so well. So it doesn't pill or anything like that. And I've worn this a ton, and it still looks really good. So I'll show you the back. There's the side, and here's the back. There's the tie back. The way this pattern is knit, you start knitting this 1x1 rib belt type thing, and you knit an awful lot of it, and then you pick up stitches and knit up and knit down. So back to the yarn. I got it when they had a bag sale. It had a few knots in it, but the yarn was so cheap. So the total yarn cost for this top was under $10. Pretty awesome, huh? And the pattern was fine, but the finishing instructions were ambiguous. I did a reverse single crochet crab stitch, I think, for the edging. I think that's what the instructions said to do. I found the instructions for it at Knitty, which is a great site with a lot of free patterns and lots of technical articles and stuff. As for mods, I added a 1/2 inch of length to the stockinette portion, which is, the belly panel, basically. And I did my usual thing for the hem where I left the stitches live and sewed down the live loops on the inside. Join the shoulders with the 3-needle bind off. Yeah, so I really like this. I think it's pretty. And it's a cool color. The Victorian grape, kind of a dusty grape. Yeah, I guess I could say something else about this one. Shakespeare in Love. So the shoulder shaping instructions were, I don't know. It was like a short row thing, which is cool. I mean, that's how you always do shoulder shaping, or at least I do, because your shoulders are a natural slant, right? This point is lower than this point. So you don't want your shoulders straight across, you want them to be slanted. But it was weird. It was like you did your wraps and turns around a spare piece of yarn, and I did it according to like the directions, or at least I tried, but it didn't come out the way it was supposed to. So I had to frog it and redo it with short rows the way I know, basically. All of these stitches are live just on spare yarn because I will join them later with a 3-needle bind off, and this sweater has like a funnel neck, so I assume that you will just put the center stitches back on the needle and keep on knitting later. Okay, that's it for the knitting talk. Thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for everyone who subscribes, leaves a comment. I love you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic springtime or autumn if you're down under. And I hope that you're having a wonderful Easter if you celebrate. So happy Easter, happy April everybody, and I will see you guys in a few weeks. Ta-ta!